Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick chat. Today on the quick chat, we are talking about Housewives, okay? We have to talk about Drew versus Marlo and Marlo versus LaToya. And we also have to get into the sit down interview that Jalen Banks had, okay? I came to you guys yesterday with the video regarding Jalen Banks and the things that he had to say about his ex-fiance slash baby mama, Miss Falynn Pina, all right? Who's also the ex-wife of Simon Guobadia, who is also the husband of Miss Portia Williams. Okay, so we have to get into what Jalen had to say, and I feel like it was a tad bit interesting. Okay, Jalen is still in his healing process, so we will get into what Jalen had to say. But before we do that, let's go ahead and get into what these ladies is over here arguing about. Let's go ahead and get that up on the screen. I want to start with Drew and I want to start with Marlo. Okay, Marlo got a chance to be over on Watch What Happens Live. And when she went over to Watch What Happens Live, she kind of body shamed Drew. Y'all know one thing about Marlo, who always wants people to feel very sad for her past, okay, and how she grew up and stuff and have sympathy. Miss Marlo will shame you. She will shame your fashions. She will shame your coins, and your body is not off limits, okay? Yeah, and I don't see anybody being in an uproar the same way y'all was in the uproar when Candiace said that Ashley had a wide body forehead. Hello? Hello? And y'all said that Candiace was body shaming? Where is y'all at? Where y'all at when it's time to be on Miss Marlo neck and head? Where is y'all at? Marlo pretty much said that if you're going to be doing Drop It with Drew, she just feels like Drew needs to get her some lipo, okay? If you are going to be representing anything dealing with the body, whether it's image, consultations, fashion, whatever, she feels like you should get your body done, okay? I feel like there are a lot of people that are not small or skinny or slim that are into fitness, and they advocate for the bigger people that are in fitness. So I don't necessarily think she needs to get lipo to be doing Drop It with Drew. I don't necessarily think that, I'll be honest. But also, I think that Drew looks great. I don't think Drew needs any work done, in my personal opinion. That's just what I think. But when Drew caught wind of whatever it is that Miss Marlo had to say, she came to the front and this is what she said. She says, I'm sitting here in disbelief that at Marlo Hampton would attack me by body shaming and attacking my weight at this crucial time in my life. She says being a parent, going through a public divorce, public humiliation, and just dealing with stressful emotional issues, clearly attacking me won't get you very far. If you feel this way about me at this size, I can only imagine what you think about women of all sizes who have weight challenges, illnesses, or eating disorders. She says, due to comments like yours, all I can say is shame on you at Marlo. Now, this is what Drew had to say to Marlo. Now, Drew, although I don't think you need to get any work done on your body, I do think you look great. Girl, I see what kind of alarm you was trying to sound and what dog whistle you was trying to send out, bitch. I do see that. I see what you're trying to do. You trying to get women that have illnesses like PCOS or whatever the case is that may cause their weight to fluctuate or whatever. Women that deal with their own bodily issues. You're trying to get these people to come to the front and be on some uproar type because you feel away. And I just feel like don't be trying to incite the people to be where you at and drag Marlo. Don't be trying to incite no folks if they don't feel the same way. But at the same time, I feel you though, girl. I'm just trying to incite the people that had so much to say about Candiace to come to the front and say so much about Marlo, honey. But, so I can't really judge you for real. But I just want to let you know that we see each other, and I see what it is that you over there trying to do. You trying to get the people to come up against Miss Marlo. But let me tell you, I've been here for Marlo the past few episodes. I'm not even going to lie to you. When it comes to you, Drew, because, girl, they is about to put your face next to liar in the dictionary because the people not believing anything you have to say. And I've been here for Marlo. Now, Marlo was on some bullshit when it came to Kandi in my personal, okay? But when it comes to you, girl, that lady been on point, and I've been here for it. And I got a cackle when she sat up there and sent LaToya the video. You want to sit up here and call this lady your friend, but you want to talk about her like a dog. Girl, I was like, ooh, now she did. She done got you, Miss Drew. But I see what you're trying to do. I do understand you being upset with everything you have going on, and then for you to try to throw your divorce in there, though, like, girl, what the divorce got to do with it? You think people supposed to have sympathy because you're going through a divorce? Don't talk about her business. Don't talk about drop it with Drew because she's going through a divorce. Girl, no. You and Marlo are not cool like that. And Marlo's not obligated to have that type of sympathy for you. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all were never friends, clearly, and you realize that this season. So, girl, at this point, what she does should be expected, in my honest opinion. But I'm going to let y'all hop down in the comments, and y'all going to share y'all thoughts and let me know how y'all feel about what Miss Marlo really had to say, okay? In the meantime, Miss Marlo did come and she responded to Drew, and this is what Marlo had to say. All right, so Marlo says this. She says, at Drew Sidora, you have gone around stating bold-faced lies about me for almost a year now. Anyone who knows me knows how anti-drug I am. So many members of my family suffer from substance abuse issues to this day, girl. When I was a child, I vowed to stay away from drugs. I hardly like taking pain pills after getting dental work done. I have watched you assassinate my character all season. Your words have been absolutely disgusting to and about me this past year. Stop it. I laughed to mask the pain. Listen, I can say a lot of stuff about Marlo, I'm sure, but being a drug user is just not one. I just don't see that being Marlo. I'm kind of with Marlo on this. Like, girl, now granted, I have not heard Drew say anything about Marlo being on drugs in any fashion, but I don't know what she's been saying in their friend group about this woman. But yeah. Girl, don't say that. Don't say I do drugs, BITCH, when you know that that's not something that it is that I do. So don't be trying to sit up there like, I don't play like that. I do not play like that, bitch. Okay, so you want to talk SHI about me, then guess what? Game the fuck is on. And I feel like Marlo should slick come at Drew. Because, girl, you sat up there and told your husband a whole story. For this man to sit up there and go and text this woman on some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, text this woman on some bullshit because of some stuff that you said and some that you did. Like, and that woman didn't even say that. All this woman said was, I do the same thing your husband does, which is technology. Now, granted, she was like being shady, but it's a shady moment. Like, girl, we going back and forth tit for tat. You going over there with the tit, I'm finna tat your ass. It's just really that simple. But for you to go back and give him an elaborate story of that didn't happen, like she was just talking like about him like a dog, I just don't agree with that. Period. So it is what it is. But again, y'all let me know y'all thoughts about this Drew versus Marlo situation. Now let's go ahead and move on because I want to get into the Toya. Hello, Toya versus Marlo. All right. Now, I don't know what's going on with Toya and Marlo, but Toya has been trying to get in touch with Marlo, and Marlo ain't been featuring her, which is hilarious. Okay. So Toya puts up these two posts of Marlo. Okay. She put up an image, and the first one says, at Marlo Hampton, call me back. I think you accidentally unfollowed me. I'm hollering when I see this. Because I'm like, girl, Marlo don't fuck with you. Talking about some, she accidentally unfollowed you. But what's also a chuckle is that LaToya is like, when is LaToya ever really serious? For real, for real. Sometimes she is, but most of the time she plays so much, okay? Excuse me. So I thought that was definitely a chuckle. Then she says, at Marlo Hampton, my iMessages are turning green. Did you get an Android or something? Girl, you probably blizzard. Hello? Girl, you probably blocked or something like that. Maybe she about got a new number on your ass. Girl, I'm screaming when I saw that. I thought that was just too damn funny to me. And I'm like, okay, Toya, I'm not mad at it. I was not here for you joining the next season like Sweet 16 or anything. But you know what? I take that back. Girl, you can slide through. You can slide through. It's probably going to be a bit entertaining if you do slide through. And then now you over here having issues with Marlo. Girl, slide through so we can see what's really going on. I think that would make for an entertaining season, having Marlo versus Toya. That would be kind of funny. But let's go ahead and keep going, all right? Now, these are text messages that Marlo decided to release of Toya. And it looks like the messages are from back from like December to earlier of this year, all right? So it looks like Toya says, that's so sad she's still talking about me. This is her response as it pertains to Drew or whatever, okay? She says, I don't lie. Is there a way for me to blow this up a little bit more so I can see? Okay. So it looks like Marlo was telling her, I'm done, but only because I know you and Aquarius just know what the fuck you dealing with, period, when it comes to Drew. So Toya says, I don't lie about SHI. Most people smile in your face and talk the most SHI behind your back, which is what I'm seeing in these videos. And then Marlo says that's what they do with us Aquariuses, right? So then Toya says Aquariuses are misunderstood only because we tell the truth and people don't like to hear facts about themselves. Marlo says that part. And then Toya tells Marlo, I sent those videos to Drew. It just be the alcohol. Or she meant to say it must be the alcohol. So when Toya says that she doesn't lie about SHI, my thing is this is you admitting to Marlo that you weren't lying about the kiss for me. So, and then also for you to say you don't lie about SHI, it's giving you do lie, because you lied to Drew when she asked you, did we ever kiss? And you said no. So it's giving you do lie. So don't say that you don't. But then right here, it does seem like you are admitting the things that you have already said on multiple platforms that you've done, which is kiss Drew. It's that simple, okay? So then there's another text message where Toya texts Marlo and says that was so dumb. She sends her a article from Love Be Sky and says, at the time of the clips, I had my own motive, but I'm tired of Drew lying on me. We need to meet up or have a conversation. Call me when you're free. All right. So then this is where Marlo says, baby, I got time on this rainy day in the A. Lights, camera, action, and scene. Okay. She says it's finally the 15 minutes of fame you've been. Did you really tell this lady that? It's finally the 15 minutes of fame you've been on pins and needles for since December 17th. First of all, Marlo, girl, you have been on the journey to get 15 minutes of fame since you came on the show as a friend of. Do not try that part coming for this lady like that, okay? Don't try that part. She says, don't get mad now that I left you on red. You couldn't decide if you wanted to be a liar, work for hire, or real Aquarius G and tell the truth. Girl, now Marlo, I'm with you on the second half now. I just don't want you calling this lady out about her 15 minutes of fame that you have died to get your damn self, okay? You was on pins and needles for a very long time about it. Hello? But girl, you was not lying when you said you couldn't decide if you wanted to be a liar or work for hire. Bitch, I'm screaming. Do you hear me? I am screaming. This is hilarious. She says hashtag RHO. She says hashtag Marlo, Marlo, Marlo. Girl, see, it's giving you want to be Portia, Portia, Portia. You could never. Calm down. Then she says hashtag watch until the end. Okay, so this is Marlo pretty much clapping back at Toya. All right, she done leaked out the messages and everything. So, girl, the girls is over here cutting the hell up, okay? And I'm here for it. So like I said, if y'all want to bring Toya back in some capacity as a friend of Drew's this season or next season, do what you need to do and we'll see how it's going to go. Now, Toya, if you get back on the show, don't be a Courtney, don't be a Sonya. Don't just like, girl, if Drew is wrong, call her out. We like fair friends. We like fair friends around here. We do not like that whole Sonya type energy where you claim to be neutral, but you never was to begin with. Hello? Are you there? Exactly. Okay. But let's go ahead and move on because I want to talk about Jalen Banks because he says that he was groomed by Falynn. Okay, so he said a lot of things, but I just grabbed a few of the notes of what, I felt like something that said, oh, let me write that down. Okay, so that's what I grabbed. First things first. Jalen says he's still struggling today after the breakup, but Falynn has already moved on. And he doesn't like that because he feels like she is not healed yet. Damn right she's not. And I don't like when people do that. I really don't. Like, I feel like when you don't heal from trauma from a previous relationship, and some of it may not be trauma, it's just whatever y'all were going through that you did not heal from, you take that and you place it onto the next person in the next relationship as though like maybe they didn't even have those issues, but you're coming from a relationship with issues that you don't know sometimes that you're dumping off on them, and then now they carry your baggage, and then when y'all break up they take that same energy and they go over and put it on somebody else if they don't do the work. So I don't like that. And then you being a mom of 4 beautiful kids, I just feel like you owe it to yourself to be as healed as possible as you go into your next relationship. I would never want my oldest child to see me go through so many different cycles of relationships. especially being a man himself. Like, I would want him to know what it looks like to have a consistent, healthy, loving relationship. And then so on and so forth with the rest of the children that I have. But I just said the oldest because they've been with you longer, right? The other ones may have been there for, let's say, okay, we're going to say 4 men. The oldest has been there for 4 or more men. The next child may have been there for 3, maybe more, or just maybe 3 men, right? Then you got the next one that may have been there for just like, 2 men or 3. It's just like the oldest one has experienced more with you. And I don't like that. So I hate that for Jaylan. Jaylan says that he's at a place where he's finally starting to date, but not really, because he's just not there mentally, because I think so much of his heart was still with Falynn and wanting to try to see how they could possibly, make it work or whatever the case is. But he says he's struggling to date. They broke up, I believe, in February of this year, somewhere around Valentine's Day. They just suffered a miscarriage, from my understanding. I remember when Falynn made that post back in January. A month later, they broke up. Here we are, 6 months down the road, and he's still trying to figure out what he needs to do, okay? He's still trying to heal himself, okay? So he's not looking for a relationship or nothing. He's just trying to really focus on his daughter. Now, he says he doesn't miss Falynn, but he does misses his family relationship and the family dynamic that they had with her children, because he kind of started calling her children his children as well. All right. And he says that when that relationship was, I guess, coming to an end, he said it was just really unhealthy for him. It was just an unhealthy relationship. And let me tell you something, Jaylan. I'm sure it was unhealthy. I could tell it was going to be unhealthy the moment you entered the relationship right after she and Simon got a divorce. Because here's the thing, you were an assistant. Simon, in so many words, is, I would say, a boss. I don't know what he does, but I would assume he's a boss, okay? Whereas you're an assistant. The weight and things of what Simon could provide and do for Falynn, that was going to fall on you. And you knew that you weren't capable or able to really fulfill that man's shoes. And I was just wondering how this was going to work, knowing that you're younger than her and you're about to inherit her baggage, which are the children. And then you go and you have one with her. Baby. Poor Jaylan, because he sat up there and said that he's a person that pretty much wears his heart on his sleeve, I guess you'll say, and he falls in love at the drop of a dime. Girl, like, it really don't even take a whole lot for this man to just want to fall for you all of a sudden. Like, it don't take much with Jaylan. So, and that's where he at. What else did Jaylan let the people know? Okay. He says that he rushed into the relationship and he lost himself ultimately. So, like, he just lost a lot of himself. I think he said he lost his happiness and he lost his youth. And I thought that was real interesting when he said he lost his youth. I said, lost your youth? What do you mean by that? But you was only with her for like 2 years or so. So what you mean you lost your youth? And the woman that did the interview was just like, nah, I could see if you was with her for like a decade or something. Then I would say you lost your youth. But whatever you think you lost, like, that's going to come back. It's only 2 years. And he was like, well, yeah, I know it's going to come back and stuff. And I don't mean that it was gone forever. But I just feel like as a young person, the time that I spent with her, I could have been doing other things that really made me happy and stuff. So that's what he meant by that. Okay. So then he also stated that when it comes to their daughter, they co-parent. He gets her like every other week and stuff. So that's what's going on. That he's still very involved in his daughter's life. Okay. He talked about being the do boy in the house, which was real interesting because I did not quite understand this part. Okay. So this is what he said. He says that her mom wanted to move her 2 kids in. And it was in that moment he had to create boundaries. So this is where the confusion comes. How he said it. Are you saying the mama has 2 additional children and she was living in y'all house and she wanted to move in 2 of her kids into the house? Or were you saying that her mom wanted to take 2 of Falynn's kids and move them into her house? But that's what he said. He says her mom wanted to move her 2 kids in. So it made me think that her mama has 2 other kids that she wanted to move into Falynn's house. And the reason why I digested down to that was because he said that he was the do boy. He was the do boy. And he says that he would be the person that would end up taking care of everything in the house. Everything. He said everything would end up falling on him. So much so to a point where he started to do this for people, do that for people, do this. But see, baby, you came in as an assistant. You came in as a do boy thinking that you were about to graduate or elevate to a higher level based on however she got you in there, however she looped you in, I suppose, according to you. So what did you expect now that y'all were in a relationship? And you know that you're not on the financial level as Simon is or was or at the time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what you mean by that or you know, but that's what he says. He says he says he will be the do boy. He'll take care of everything in the house. Sound like he was taking care of a lot of the bills. I remember Jaylan, there was a clip floating around where he said that on couples retreat. And I was like, boy, stop. No, you don't. Get out of here. Yada, yada, yada. But maybe he was, now that I think about it. Maybe he was taking care of the bills. Maybe he made just enough money to take care of the bills in the house, right? And then some other expenses maybe Falynn took care of. Because I would believe that's how Simon had Falynn set up, where he took care of all of the bills in the house, and then Falynn would take care of this over here so the family would still be secure in some fashion. So maybe that's what it was with Jaylan and Falynn. All right. Now he goes on to say that Falynn groomed him. Jaylan says he was groomed by this woman. And girl, I felt like that's a hard word to say about your baby mama. That's a tough word to say. Groomed. Ooh. And of course he would say groomed because she's 9 years, almost 10 years older than him. Whereas Simon was about 15 years older than her. So he felt like he was in the position that she was in when it came to Simon. So she may have lacked control in a sense because Simon was the breadwinner and he was the oldest, right? That's how it typically go when you have those type of relationship dynamics, right? So he feels like he was in that same position. She probably was in charge of Jaylan. She was in charge of the house. He may have did everything in the house, but she was in charge of it. Okay? So, girl, that's some interesting stuff right there, honey. Jaylan was like, girl, this is messy. Let's keep going. All right. So then he says, Jaylan says he was groomed by Falynn. He says Falynn was making it seem as though Simon was doing her wrong. This is what he said now. He says that Falynn is a narcissist, and that's what narcissists do, he says. He was like, with narcissists, they try to paint other people out to be the issue so that they, in other people's eyes, can be seen as the victim in the situation. Baby, I'm like, not this man sitting up here on this platform slick validating Simon and some of the shit Simon said, and I am over here cringing. I'm cringing. Do you hear what I say? Girl, what? Now, make no mistake about it. I still believe that Falynn and Simon were cheating on each other. That's why I don't feel sorry for a lot of shit that happened between them. I feel like they were cheating on each other. And I do feel like he had already started seeing Portia earlier on in the relationship. And it just makes it more messier because her and Portia were on a show together. That's what made it more messier, right? But I feel like they were cheating on each other. So yeah, no. And then you propose to that lady in a short amount of time, talking about y'all got proposed within 2 weeks. I don't believe none of this shit. I believe y'all had been dating for a minute, but Portia didn't want to admit that she was dating this man while he was still married. But hell, might as well, because it gives both of y'all was, they was both cheating on each other. At that point, the damn marriage was open. Shit. But anywho, so he says he felt bad for her after her coming to him, making it seem like Simon was the wrong person and this, that, and the other, and all they did her wrong, did her like this or that. He says that he felt bad. He felt bad for her. So that's why he kind of like, gave in to her. And you know what's crazy? I did a live the other day and I kind of talked about Rockstar, and I didn't like how Rockstar came at the situation when it came down to Angel Brinks. I didn't like how he got online and he like slick dragged her. But for some reason, I can appreciate how Jaylan sat in this interview. And the interview was more so about him trying to figure out the best ways to heal and get out of this relationship, and just giving people a little bit of, detail about what was happening in his relationship. So I don't feel like he did this as raunchy as Rockstar did. Granted, he could have not done the interview at all. Whatever happened between y'all, let it stay between y'all. This is still the mother of your child, and you would never want your child to like see this that you're saying about their mom or whatever on social media. But I don't know. I just feel like how he did this was like a little bit classier than how Rockstar did it. But let's just keep going. He says that she was a great friend. She was a great person to him. He says that they connected when they took a trip to Cancun, Mexico. And it was in that moment that he realized he was in love with her. So I'm wondering, girl, somebody go back through their page and find out when they went on this trip to Cancun, Mexico. Were they actually together after Simon them called it off and said they're gonna divorce each other, or did this trip take place while they was very well together or something? Let me know, because I'm just trying to figure out, well, when the hell was the damn Cancun trip taken? For me, like, let me know what's going on, honey. So anywho, he says he lost her. He says, you know, a lot of fans say, he said something like, there's this saying where they say you lose her how you get her, and he said, and that's exactly what happened. I lost her how I got her. So basically, at the same way, according to Jaylan, Falynn came to him and tried to make it seem like Simon was the issue. Falynn was going to another man, allegedly, and making that man believe that Jaylan was the biggest problem. And then next thing you know, she done hook, line, and sinkered a whole nother man because she's over this one. And it's cringeworthy because it is giving Falynn, you got 4 different kids by 4 different men. And I'm not going to come down on you too much for that. But you need to get some healing and slow your fucking roll. Because I don't want your daughter to be in that same predicament or anything like that. You know, you need to slow down. Because, I mean, you don't know who these people really be that you be having around your kids like that. Like, girl, you need to slow down or something. What's going on? So then he says when they broke up, she had someone else in the picture already. And the problem is that the 9-year-old had already started calling the man daddy. I said, baby, what? What is you saying right now? So when they broke up in February, he's saying that when they broke up in February, she already had another man in the picture. So I guess not too long after that, maybe within 2 months or something, her 9-year-old was already calling the man daddy. So now I have questions, and it's no disrespect. The first question is, you sure that was your child? No disrespect, but it is a question, okay? You sure that was your child in January? That's one. And then the next question is, are you sure the man that the 9-year-old was calling daddy wasn't his actual daddy? But I guess you've been around long enough to know who daddy is whose at this point. But yeah. Those are my questions. But that's pretty much all that I captured from that interview that Jaylan did with Relationship Matters podcast, honey. And I just had to go ahead and bring it back to y'all and just let y'all know exactly what was being said over there at that interview, all right? But y'all let me know y'all thoughts about everything that we just discussed over here on the Housewives quick chat. I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, or follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.